coming up.
At that time, I was still in the ghetto and stuff. But I was like, I am going to be rich. And from there, I kept on buying books and feeding my mind. And I realized that I was in charge of my life. I was responsible for everything that I need. Everything that I want, I can achieve. All I have to do is believe and work towards it.
Wow. Trust me, that is amazing. And trust me, we don't take your tears for granted. Hey everyone, so this week on the Trailblazers, we have quite a phenomenal story. It's the story of Layten Pryce. She's an internet consultant and entrepreneur, and she's sharing how is it that she grew up in very destitute circumstances, was given up for adoption, had no high school certification, nothing. But through making money online and working online, she has transformed her life, bought a land, built her house, and she is just blazing her trail. Stay tuned.
Thanks to our partners, the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, Kingston's preferred choice. Stars Publicity for all your public relations and publicity needs. Get noticed and align with the stars. DG's Health and Wellness Center, operated by certified nutritionist and health columnist Donovan Grant. Contact them today for all your weight loss and other nutritional needs. And Care is Beauty for all your skincare goals and more. Get 5% off each purchase from them using the discount code TAMARA5OFF. Learn more details on all these partners as well as links to their website by visiting the description box on the Trailblazers with Tamara Mckayle YouTube channel.
What's your word to them?
I would say to fight. Fight for your dreams, fight for your purpose.
Life that inspires you, that motive that you aspire to be. Right?
It's not a waste time movement, damn it.
In my humble opinion, is become very comfortable with yourself.
Very important. You know, the saying in Jamaica, one hand can't clap.
You forgive yourself for allowing people to mistreat you.
Disciplines that we need to embody.
You just have to work at it and be committed. Everyone.
And scary to have all of that fall away from you. And you have to celebrate those wins. Work with fitness clients.
For guidance, rely on Christ for support.
And no rush. I did it. I made my move into entrepreneurship at 40.
So chicken, so scared that when...
What, last comments would you want to share with
you? Have your core values, you do the right things, they'll fall in place for you.
Hi Layten, it is a pleasure to finally have you on the Trailblazers. This was supposed to happen for a good while now, and it's finally happening.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm so happy to be here with you, Tamara. I'm so happy and excited, right?
Thank you so much for joining. And I mean, you have such a powerful story, and I'm going to really let you go into it. But for our viewers, Layten is an internet consultant, an entrepreneur, a speaker, and she literally has used online to transform her life. And she trains, she has a lot of persons that she trains right across the world. But yeah, I'm going to let you tell the story. So first and foremost, I understood that you grew up in very humble circumstances, and you were even at one point, you were given up for adoption. So tell me a little bit about your earlier years.
All right. So my mother had 6 of us, and she could not take care of us. So she basically gave away all of us because she was that poor. And I was blessed enough to be adopted by this nice lady, Miss Joylene Bent. I love her very, very much. And I appreciate everything she's done for me. She helped to mold me into the person I am today. Yeah, so she gave us up for adoption. This lady that adopted me, she took care of me. She sent me to school. She feed me, she clothed me. She did her best, extreme best, because I was the only child she had at the time, until she had a son. So she still only has 2 of us. All right. And then upon reaching high school, I decided that I wanted to go out and help her, because everything was so expensive. I wanted to go out and work to send back myself to school, because at this point, every college is very expensive, so she could not afford it, right? So I left, I'm from Clarendon. So I left Clarendon and I went to Kingston because, you know, when you're in the country, there's no jobs in the country. So we always end up going to Kingston. Job, yeah. And then I came to Kingston and I went to an agency and I got a job in a wholesale. And I was very excited because, you know, I'm getting paid. Yeah. Anyway, that was at the age of 16. Right, so I actually left school at 16. I left 11th grade at 16. I didn't actually graduate, but I left at 16. And then I got a job in the wholesale and I started making money. I mean, at this time, it was like 3,000 something I'm making per month. This was back in 2000 and, what was it, 2008, 2007? Yeah. Minimum wage was like 3,200. No, per week. Per week.
Per week. Per week.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was making like 3,200 per week. Well, because, you know, I don't have any responsibility, it looked like a lot of money. And it was the first money that I actually was working. So it did look like a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But then I got pregnant at 16 and had my first child at 17. I was still, I'm a teenage mom. So I was still working in the wholesale. I was still there, you know, trying to make ends meet until, 18, I got pregnant again and had my second child at 19. Yeah. After having my second child, I was like, no. This can't keep going on, you know. I could barely provide for them. You know, it's a good thing that I was actually working in a wholesale because then I could trust the food in the week and then on weekends, the boss would drive back out of the pay. But then by weekend come, there was no pay left.
Exactly. Is that double one? Wow.
I had to be borrowing money to for food to send them to school because I had to pay crèche, you know. And their father was there, yes, but he wasn't really making a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Right? And then so Mondays now I would get up, go back to work, and the cycle continues. I would be borrowing again, you know. Mm-hmm. So I was not getting any money. I was not seeing any money. I came to a point where I actually started owing more than what I was working.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes. So there was no money for me to get any at all. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I need better for myself, you know. I need to be able to take care of my children. I want to buy them anything they want. You know, I want to buy myself anything I want. I want to wear the nice clothes. I want to wear the nice jewelry, the nice earrings, just to be in a nice space, you know. Because at that time I was living in the ghetto, you know, ghetto houses, you know, ghetto, how it is, you know, the stench and the board house, and it was awful. And I was like, there must be more for me. And even when I was in the wholesale, persons were like, oh, you don't have a high school, you don't have college degree, you don't have university, you won't get any job. You know, persons were telling me this, that I should not leave the wholesale work because there was nothing else out there for me. And I was like, no, there must be something else. This cannot be my life, you know. I can't just have 2 children and just that's it. I need more. I need more for myself. I don't want my children to come and be in the same position that I'm in, you know. Mm-hmm. Yes. And I was there. And one day I just, I remember when I was there, like the sales rep used to come into the wholesale and, you know, those sales rep that sells the stuff to the Chinese people, because I was working at Chinese wholesale. And I was like to myself, oh my God, it would be nice for me to, you know, be dressed like nice and be selling stuff to these Chinese people. They just look so elegant, you know, you call them miss and, you know, you look up to them. And I remember thinking that to myself. And I was there at the Chinese place for 7 years. I stayed there for 7 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I stayed there quite a while, but then one day I was going to work and I was like, why am I even going to work? This doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. The cycle is going to start again. I'm going to go back, borrow, no money. I'm not growing. My children aren't better off. I'm like, this does not make any sense. And at that time I had rent to pay. Right? At this time I was living on my own with my children. I had rent to pay, internet bill, water bill, all the bills. And I said, I'm not going to work. Because it's just, yes.
So in that moment, you decided that you're not going, you just decided you're not going back because you don't want the cycle to continue. So what did you do?
I went and looked at my next work.
Same day?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So where you work?
Because when you're in a wholesale, you come in contact with a lot of other business people. You know, and when they see with the Chinese, they're like, come work for me or stuff like that, you know. I met this gentleman and I decided that I was going to work with him. Now, his work was worse than the Chinese because I had to work from 7 to 7.
What?
Yep. He was paying a bit more, but I had to work from 7 to 7. I remember, I can't forget the day that I missed my son's birthday. I actually bought the cake on his birthday and he did not get it till the other morning because I did not go until late in the night. Yeah, I never forget that. And I was there with him, but even though it was awful, he taught me a lot of stuff. He said, Layten, he said, no, they call me Tina. I said, fake it until you make it, right?
Yes.
And I used to just wear some raggedy clothes because, you know, it's wholesale, so you just wear anything and go there because you just packing shelf and stuff. And he said to me, start dressing elegant, coming to work, make people think you're a professional, you know. And I started buying some nice blouses like these and some nice skirts and a nice shoes, and a nice handbag. And I went to work dressing nicely. And then when I go now, I take off my clothes and stuff and put on the regular working clothes. And he's like, fake it until you make it. And that stuck in my head.
Wow.
And then soon after that, he started sending me out to places to sell stuff. Right? So right there, I was growing into a sales representative without even realizing. Without even realizing, right? I think I stayed there for about 4 months or something like that.
Oh, so then I decided, you didn't stay a long time?
No, I didn't stay long because the hours were too long. I was spending time with my kids and I had to be paying a lot of money to at preach or whoever was keeping them. So it didn't make any sense. It didn't make much sense. So I left there and God is always on my side. I met these other people who sold Nestle product, right? Like Subcogen, Team Milk Season and stuff like that. You know, Nestle product always in circulation. And things were slow for them. And they had a truck. So when I just went there, I used to buy this stuff. I got some money to borrow from my landlady. She's such a nice lady, always trying to help me to start buying some stuff and selling them back. So she started me off with some money to buy some stuff and sell to the Chinese around town, right? Around downtown Kingston. And then after the people at Nestle place realized that I was selling the products quickly, they were like, you don't have to bring any money to buy stuff. We'll either give you the truck, you just tell us what you want, and then like when you sell them, you bring back the money to us.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even have to buy gas.
Yes.
Yes. And I remember
because by that time you had a vehicle.
No. It was their truck. They gave me their truck with their goods to go out and sell.
Oh.
Yes, and then come back and then pay them when I get back and I make a profit. And at this time I was a sales representative. I created my list, my business list. I even made a name. Oh my God, yes. I printed them up. And I went around to the Chinese and I'm like, I think it was Better Choice Distributors. I called my name. I'm from Better Choice Distributors and I just give them my list and they were buying from me. And this time I started making money. I was like, oh my God, there's so much money out here. How is it that they tell me that there's nothing else, you know?
Exactly.
And that is when I actually started making some money. However, on this journey as a sales rep, I can remember one time I went into a store to collect the money. And this lady working there was like, Miss, come around here. I'm like, oh my God. You know, they were
finally call you Miss. They wanted that. Yeah.
I know, right? And then after selling for a while, I was like, what if one day I get up and they no longer have any goods to give me? You know, what will I do? I don't want to go back to look at 9 to 5. You know, I still have my children to take care of. I have to take care of myself. So that's when I decided to go online. Now I went online and I decided that I was searching for a work from home job because
stick up in Layten before we even touch on the going online platform, because I'm very curious, because you know all that you have shared with me so far, I'm like, flabbergasted because even in those early years when you were making next to nothing, and then now having 2 kids, still being in the wholesale, but still pushing forward, like a lot of people, they would become very complacent with their circumstances. So what was it about you or your situation why you felt like, it must have been something within you why you felt like you wanted better? So what was it?
So it was basically my children. My children are my biggest motivator. All that I have, all that I do is for my children. Because the moment I started having children is the moment that I started looking at life differently. Yeah. And I just knew that I wanted different for them. You know, I went out into the world alone trying to help myself, but I wanted to be there for them. I wanted to give them that start, you know. I don't want them to struggle. I want when they leave school, I can say, okay, I can help you to do this. I can send you there, you know. So those are the things that I thought about, that I wanted a better life for my children. So they are my biggest motivators, my biggest whys.
That's so awesome. All right, so let's move on now to you going online and how that all happened. Yeah, can continue.
So after I was there selling stuff, and I was like, what if, you know, because for some reason I always try to have a plan B and a plan B. I just don't settle, you know. I'm always thinking, because as I said, the father don't really have it, so I have to make sure I always find a way to provide for them. So I was like, I'm going to go online and see if I can find a stay-at-home job in case this one stopped working. And I went online, and of course, I came up at Internet Income Jamaica. And I called them. And I said, I would like to learn how to work online. And they were like, okay, come in, we'll teach you how to work online according to your skills. I said, I don't have any skills. I was just working in a wholesale, you know, I don't know nothing. And they were like, come in anyway, we'll teach you. And it's a good thing that I was searching, because at this time, things started getting slow with the buying and selling business. Things actually started getting slow. And in order to go to this class, I had to even borrow money from the landlady. That's how slow things got.
Wow.
Yes. So it's a good thing. I was kind of thinking, what next? What will I do to make more money, you know?
Yes.
And then I borrowed the money from the landlady, and I went. And of course, I met Miss Alice a little. Yeah. And she was like, who's here to make some money? I was always like, I'm here to make money. I want to make money. I was every time like, oh, I'm here to make money. And at this point, I didn't even, I was 100% good on the computer, because even in the class, they were telling us, upload a picture. They were showing us how to set up on the internet, right? And they were like, upload a picture. I'm like, I don't know how to upload a picture. You know, people come to me and they say they don't know how to use the computer. I'm like, that's okay. I didn't know either.
Yes.
But because I wanted this, I needed it. I had to find a way to provide. Right? And I went and I learned different skills, but the one that stood out the most was transcription, right? And transcription is basically listening and typing. You don't have to have a degree to do that. You don't have to have nothing. You just have to be able to listen and type. These you were born with, right? And yes, I learned how to be a transcriber. This is back in 2015.
Wow.
Now, when I just learned how to be a transcriber, I didn't get any job for a while. So for 2 months after doing the course, I didn't get any job. I almost gave up on it. I'm like, oh, I wasted my money. This so, and I was just, you know, because it's 2 months and I don't get any work. And then out of the blues, this lady, she messaged me from Jamaica. Her name is Rose. She messaged me from Jamaica and she's like, can you transcribe a file for me? I'm like, yes. And she actually taught me some tools to use to transcribe. And she paid me my first $5.
Wow,
and,
$5 US.
$5 US, because we work in US. And I was boom flicking all over the place. And I was so excited because the fact that I can stay from home and make $5, it just triggered something. Yes, it triggered something different inside of me, because if I can make $5, I can make more.
That's right.
And then Yes, I stayed up all day, all night, did the file, sent to her. The next day she sent the next one. I'm like, oh my God. Yes. And she helped me and she said to me, I never forget, she said, in the same way that I'm giving you jobs now, is the same way you're going to build your business and be able to give other people jobs. I can remember her saying that to me.
That is so true. And then fast forward Layten, I mean, couple, you know, I'm not sure how long it took, you can tell me, but you moved on and then you are doing so amazing. I remember the first time I came across your story was in the papers, and it shared how, as you mentioned, your story just now, but then building your house.
Yeah, and your house. This is even my own home office, because I ensure that I build an office and the house, because I'm always going to be working from home. So I did the course in 2015. In 2016, I bought my land. Yes, so I was able to purchase the land.
Hold on, after 1 year of doing the transcription, you were able to have enough money to buy a land?
Yep.
Wow. So tell us more, because I'm sure some of our viewers may be like, wow. I mean, the timing, of course, was also crucial, because I'm assuming that back then it wasn't as much persons doing that as well in Jamaica, right?
It's not about that either. Even though back then there was as much person doing it in Jamaica, but the thing is that I'm making more now than I made back then, even though more persons are doing it. So it's not about that.
It's not a time period kind of thing. Okay.
No.
Yeah, so I mean, a person may be interested to find out. So how, within 1 year, were you able to literally transform your life?
All right. So as I said, it took me like 2 months to get my first job. So like probably for the first month after that, I made $100. Then I made $200. Then it just kept going up and going up and going up. Because the thing about working online is that once you start building good reviews, because you do good jobs and you get those reviews, more persons come to you. And the more reviews you have, the more money you can charge. So for instance, the job that I used to charge $5 for when I just started out, I can charge 25 and 30 now. So that's why I'm making more money now. And I work less now, because I can pay others to do the job for me and help them build their business in the meantime. So time is not time.
It's not time.
It's just believing that you have the ability to do it and do it like an expert. Even though you're a beginner, do it like an expert. Yeah.
But that's awesome, Layten. And I mean, at the same time, it does take some amount of work, or would you say that compared to what you were doing, it's relatively easier, what you were doing before?
It does take work, because I had to sit around the computer all day and be typing. So my hands hurt me, my neck hurt me, but it was all worth it, you know. When you're just starting something new, your body will take time to adjust to it. Because I wasn't very used to the computer, so I couldn't find the buttons quickly. But now I can find them without even looking at the keyboard, because after a while, your body just becomes second to nature when you focus on something. Just like you know, in your speaking activities, it becomes second to nature. You can even be speaking and not even realizing you're doing it.
That is so true. You know, step by step and bit by bit, you create that. All right. So, I mean, what was it like for you though, Layten, when after a year of working and you realize that you actually have enough money and you go purchase that land? Tell us about that experience.
All right, so when I purchased the land, because it was my mother, my actual birth mother, who encouraged me. She's like, you have children, so you have to find somewhere. Don't depend on no man, you know. Make a shelter for your children so nobody can throw you out. And she was up and down with me all over the place until I finally find a piece of land. I don't know. I think at the time, I didn't really feel excited. I'm not sure why. It just felt normal I don't honestly, it just felt normal. It's after I started looking back and I was like, oh my God, not everybody is able to purchase a piece of land. That was quite an exciting time in my life. But at the time, it just felt like the right thing to do, you know?
Yes, yes. And then, okay, so it felt normal, but then now You purchase it is one thing, but then being able to build a house and a nice house at that for your kids, you know, what was that like? And, you know, just seeing that structure going up. And at the time too, you're still a young woman. So at the time you're still in your 20s. So tell us, what was that like?
So that was an exciting time, you know, seeing the house, you know, I have pictures from the first row of blocks were laid.
Wow.
That's how far back I have pictures from. It was just marking out. So it was exciting. It is still exciting seeing the house. You know, sometimes I lie down and I smile and I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to worry about, you know, paying rent, getting thrown out, you know, my children have a roof over their head. It's quite exciting. Sometimes I just sit and smile. You know, I'm just be grateful for everything that has happened. But it didn't just come. I had to put in the work. I had to go hunting, you know, I had to search for the opportunity. It didn't just come to me. Yeah. And that's what a lot of persons do. They sit around waiting for opportunity to come to them. No, you have to go out. Once you reach for it, it will reach back for you. That's just how it is.
That is so true. And I mean, based on what you have shared so far, I can realize that you've always had that kind of spirit with you where even from that early age, going after the opportunities, not letting, because a lot of people could let their circumstances define them. I know you mentioned that your kids were your biggest motivation, but you know, the fact that being given up for adoption, although your adopted mother was very good to you, but then living in the ghetto at one point, all of the situations that you faced and then still just pushing forward, that, trust me, that is amazing. And I see, I definitely see behind you some of the books that I actually have several of them myself. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon. And I'm very curious because all of these books speak to the power of the mind and rules for success. So yeah, tell us, why is it that you read, especially, or you know, a lot of those kind of books?
All right, so how it started, I was at a really low point at one point in my life. And then I came upon Les Brown. And then, oh my God. And Les Brown told me, if you will land on your back, it is okay, because once you can look up, you can get up. And I never forgot that. And then I started listening to his videos more and more, and it began to motivate me. And I think that's where I started having a change in my mindset. And then, whoops, Les Brown coming to Jamaica. Who was there? Me. I was right there. And I even got a picture with him. And it was at this seminar that he said, he started talking about books and the power of books. And he said, the first book I bought was Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
So I actually bought it, and that was my first investment. I think I spent like $2,000 something on it, and that was the first investment that I made in my mind. And I remember going home and reading that book, and tears came to my eyes, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to be rich!" Oh my God, I'm gonna be rich. I can never forget that day. I was actually, a lot of emotions were coming out of me. You know, even at that time I was still in the ghetto and stuff. But I was like, I am going to be rich. And from there, I kept on buying books and feeding my mind. And I realized that I was in charge of my life. I was responsible for everything that I need. Everything that I want, I can achieve. All I have to do is believe and work towards it.
Wow. Trust me, that is amazing. And trust me, we don't take your tears for granted, because even just coming to that realization, because a lot of people, for real, you know, they don't realize that, you know, because they let situations, circumstances, and what people tell them. So they don't believe in themselves, or they don't believe that they can change. Yes. So I mean, when you know, just coming to that realization. So I mean, so you realizing though, like, you know, and transforming your mind. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. All right, so tell us now, in terms of, because as an online consultant, entrepreneur, you're training, you know, people from around the world, not only in Jamaica. You have your business going, you're a speaker, and I understand that you also have a book in the works.
Yes, I'm writing a book about transcription and the importance of having a transcriber in your business. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So as a speaker now, you are, using your message to help other people. How important do you think it is for you to share your story with others so that they can realize that it's not where they come from or their circumstance that defines them?
Yes, I like to share my story because as I say, I don't have any high school certificate. I didn't graduate from high school. I have no special talent other from anybody else. You do not have to, people write you off as worthless when you start having kids at an early age. They're like, oh my God, your life is done. You're not going to amount to anything. That's not true. That's not true in any ways. It's not what people say to you. It's what you say to yourself. So if you get up today and you decide that I want better for myself, you're going to search for better. If you get up and you decide that this is it for my life, that is going to be it. Because remember, the man who say he can't and the man who say he can, they're both right. So it's the story that you tell yourself. So you have to start changing that story. You have to tell yourself that even though I don't have what society wants me to have, I can do this because we have power within us. It's just for us to know and believe and release it. All of us were born for a purpose, and all we have to do is work on our purpose. But you see, when you focus too much on society, if you're not a nurse or a doctor, you're nothing. If you're not a teacher, you're a nobody. Because at one point, even when I started doing my online business, persons were like, you need to get a good job. That job is not safe and secure. But I don't want safe and secure. I want freedom. And my job gives me freedom,
Girl,
I want that.
Girl, you are, trust me, you're really like pushing me even now because and it's a serious thing, you're so right, because one of the things I've always admired about entrepreneurs like yourself, especially in this realm, is having that freedom lifestyle where you don't have to be depending, so to speak, on a paycheck or anything like that. You are the one in charge of your life. You're in charge of your your earning and multiple sources of income. And
exactly, because that is what separate the wealthy people from the less fortunate. Multiple source of income, and that's just simply it.
Yeah.
Right? There's no magic trick. There's no science rocket. Just try different businesses. Invest in yourself. And a lot of time we don't invest in ourselves because persons will be like, I'm a scammer because I'm working online. There's just that stigma,
Even after all of these years, can you imagine?
Yes, can you imagine? They're like, oh my God, we're getting money to build this house. I would also see you going out to work. Something is fishy, Even after all these years, but I don't pay them any mind because I know what I do is legit. So it's just so much. But I love my life now. I love my freedom. I'm happy I invested in myself. Because the thing about it is I have a course, right, that teaches person how to be a transcriber. And the course is fairly cheap. It's like probably 7,000 Jamaican dollars. And people be like, they're hesitant. But yes, still you'll buy a shoes for $7,000. You do your hair for $7,000, but you won't invest in yourself for $7,000. So if I didn't remember, I look at life this way. When I was working minimum wage, it's because I didn't have much to offer the environment. So I was being paid minimum. But once I got a skill, I was offering more. So I got paid more. So you have to invest in yourself, right? People think that it's not about just going to university and college. Nothing is wrong with going there. I mean, we need the lawyers and we need the doctors. We need all of them. But do what you have with the resources at hand. So if you don't have those, find the next way to make some money.
That is true. That is true. And I mean, I definitely agree with you, especially that the age and the time that we're living in. I mean, the pandemic taught us that. A lot of people have been, going online ever since the pandemic. The world has revolutionized. So, I mean, I'm going to give you an opportunity to share a little bit about how persons, because, they can get involved with your business if they too want to learn how to transcribe or whatever other options that you have through your company with Internet Income Jamaica, the Alliance, and yeah, you can share that.
All right. So if you're at home and you're looking to start working online, you know, you lost your job and you're wondering what next, what you're going to do, there's always an opportunity for you. Even though you might feel like you don't have any skill, there's something that you can provide that someone will pay you for. Trust me. Coming from me that don't know anything deep, you know, I decided to learn a skill. So if you want to learn different skills to work online, you know, other from transcription, you can learn designing, singing, whatever it is, whatever talent you have, I can teach you how to, you know, put that service online so people can pay you for it.
Okay.
So you can email me at pricelayten@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at Layten Pryce. I have a YouTube channel, Layten Pryce. I'm at Facebook at Layten Pryce. I'm everywhere on the internet at Layten Pryce.
And your website?
LaytenPryce.com.
Okay.
And of course, you can check out Internet Income Jamaica as well. And learn about different skills that you can use to earn online. But it is real and it works.
And yes. It works. And you are definitely a living testimony of that. I mean, honestly, Layten, I know I was going to be inspired because as I said, I know bits and pieces of your story. But I guess having this one-on-one chat, I'm feeling like, you know, when Les Brown will talk about the fire in the belly. Yes. Yes. I'm having one of those fire in the belly moments because I'm like, boy, you know, when you see another young lady like yourself, and I mean, we're all, you know, have our own purpose and contribution, but just realizing that nothing should stop you, nothing should hinder you. And I just love your mindset. So as we wrap up, you know, if there are any words of advice that you want to share to aspiring trailblazers, and they may be at different points, you know, in their lives. You know, some people may feel like they have not accomplished enough, maybe for age, maybe for whatever situation they faced. And, you know, they want to transform their lives like how you have done that successfully, even with what society would see as limitations. You've been able to do it. What would you want to say?
I always love to say, if it is to be, it is up to me. Whatever you're going through, you have what it takes to change that, right? It's not about age. It's not about background. It's not about your environment. It's about you and what you want. It's not what about people. It's not what people say, right? Whatever you're going through right now, it will pass. And next year, you will look back and be like, I was stressing out in that situation. It will pass. Just look at where you were 1 year back. Mm-hmm. Even though where you are at right now is not where you want to be, but life always gets better. It's always better. All right. So just don't give up. Be persistent. Sit. Sometimes you need to take some time and sit and look into yourself and write down some goals. If you don't have any goals, you have nothing to work towards, you know, and life becomes just one big blob. But when you have goals and you have plans, you have a reason to get out of bed. You're like, oh, I need to go here to do this. And you know, when you start searching for opportunities do find you. Knock and it shall be open, ask and it shall be given. And it's important to reprogram your mind, you know, get into a positive mindset.
Awesome. I couldn't have said it any better. That is indeed phenomenal. Layten Pryce, I should correctly say, doing some amazing things. I am so proud of you. I know without a shadow of a doubt that anyone watching this interview will leave feeling inspired and will also leave like with a sense of purpose and mission to do something, you know, not let something do you. So yeah. I'm really grateful that you were able to share just a bit of your story, because the truth is, you know, half an hour is not even sufficient time, but at least just sharing this means a lot. So continue to blaze your trail. I'm expecting even bigger and better things from you. Layten Pryce, internet consultant, entrepreneur, speaker, you name it, blazing her trail. We are so grateful.
I'm so happy to have been here.
Thank you. Hey everyone, I am Tamara Mckayle, television and radio presenter, producer, communication specialist, and of course, producer and host of the Trailblazers series. I'm inviting you, yes, you, to join the family. All you have to do is just click that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted as to when we have new episodes. And then join our family for weekly inspirational episodes that will not only lift your spirits, but will give you the tools, the keys, and the strategies that you need so that you can blaze your trail.